What's going on, Junkie Nation? Gorgeous George and Goes are back with another superstar from the sport of mixed martial arts. Today, we get to talk to Mario Bautista, who just got a big win over Ricky Simone at UFC Fight Night 234. First event of the year. Great way to start the year. I love them bantamweights, my favorite division. It's got veterans, it's got wild dudes, young dudes, lanky dudes, squatty dudes, strikers, wrestlers, everything. It's deep. Trust me, this is the division to hang on to if you're looking for a new favorite division. I've been calling this one for about 2 years now, and this guy is climbing up the charts. What's up, Mario? Congrats on your win, man.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Mario, so you're slowly becoming one of my favorite fighters, and I'll tell you why. Because Goes and we're closing in on 17 years of covering MMA. We've been fans since the beginning. And so you got your favorite fighters, right, along the way. Your Hoist Gracie's, Don Fry's, Chuck Liddell's, GSPs, and so on. And this new generation, there's a lot of you. There's like 700 or 800 on the roster. There's so many shows. It's so hard, right? We had this interview with you a few months ago. I don't know if you remember. You were telling us about how you used to work for Safe Light, and you told these stories about Safe Light and putting them windows in the summer, and when something goes wrong, you got to do the whole thing over again. Man, I laughed my ass off just because you were humility. You know what I mean? Like there's you seem like a real dude. That along with bantamweights, I'm just looking for new fighters to follow and all that. So then we get to Saturday, and I really thought you were gonna have a tough assignment, man. Simone doesn't play like it's 15 minutes. That motor don't stop, and I kept reading people's breakdowns. Batista sometimes can give up the takedown a little too soon. He might find himself at the bottom losing rounds. Bro, you proved everyone wrong. How did that feel? How did that feel to win some of those scrambles, to get off your feet, to fight off the takedowns?
No, it felt good. It's exactly like what we planned for leading up to this fight. And like, not only this fight, but just like throughout my whole career. Because just like you said, like, oh, I'd give up some takedowns here and there. But like, I'm just always continuously getting better. And that's just how it's always been for me since the start. So, finally get to this point where it all matters, and to finally put it all together against someone like Ricky, who we knew was going to do this. And, and for it to work out, I was super happy with it.
Wrestlers will often say, I can feel a striker break when I take them down. And let's say I do it over and over, and like by the second or third, they'll say that they can see it in their eyes, that's not going their way. They can't stop it. How about the reverse? You're a guy that likes, I mean, you guys you can do it all, right? But you seem to excel at striking. Was the reverse in effect on Saturday, where when you were getting back to your feet or neutralizing any sort of ground and pound or improvement of positions, did you see in his eyes like, partner, we're gonna settle this on the feet. This ain't going your way?
Yeah, no, I definitely seen that towards the later rounds, like when I would pop back up. Especially there was one, I think he carried me across the cage. And,
Yeah.
for him, he's thinking like, oh, man, this is like a big takedown. This is a big moment for me. And he takes me down. He uses all that energy to do that. And then for me to pop right back up and get right back on him, I could kind of see in his eyes, like, like, what can I do? If I take him down, he's going to get back up. So I kind of seen that, and, him taking a look at the clock. I love when people do that, in sparring or anything, and they look at the clock. There's only one reason why you're looking at it. You're tired. And so for me, I'm like, all right, I'm going to pick up the pace even more. So I think there's little mistakes like that on his part. So I love that.
Because he's a specialist, and again, you guys can all do everything. He can strike too, but he's gotten far in this division because of his takedowns, his ground and pounds. He gets after it. So did you have to bring in some sort of a specialist? Or do you have them within your camp? And did you work your training camp that way, where you basically just maybe even didn't do Muay Thai, didn't do boxing, and focused a lot on wrestling, takedown defense, scrambles? How did you build that excellent game plan?
No, we didn't bring in anyone. This is something I've always done at the MMA lab. Like to get ready for Ricky. I don't think I would want to be anywhere else than at the MMA lab, because this is exactly what we do there all the time. Hard wrestling. If you have anyone that comes in and talks about our wrestling classes that we have on Tuesdays, they'll tell you how tough it is, and having like someone like Benson Henderson on you. And that's just the style that we've developed there at the lab. So it was pretty easy for me to game plan against that. It was just a matter of executing it, that night, and getting up like in a timely fashion. If he did get the takedowns, it's all a matter of just doing it quickly.
Sometimes fighters can be their own worst critics. What would you grade yourself, either 1 through 10 or ABC, on that performance?
I think like techniques and everything. When it comes to the stand-up, I'd probably give myself like probably like a 7. But as far as like the heart and determination and all that, I give myself a 10. Like, it took everything I had to beat Ricky and to win moments and to stay focused and not get frustrated. I was like mentally there the whole time. So I give myself an A+ for sure.
Mario, this one came in early in the year. How many more of these this year do you think you can get in?
I'm going to try to set myself up for 2 more this year. One at the beginning of the year, summer, springtime, and then one at the end of the year. I think that makes sense for me and give me enough time between fights to get even better.
So one thing that we've kind of seen throughout the years, or sometimes you'll get these fighters and they have these really long streaks and they can't get to that title shot. What can you do to make sure that you're not one of these guys that ends up with like a 12 fight win streak and still no shot? That week after week we're saying, when's Mario Bautista's shot coming? Have you maybe thought about who that next opponent can be and how much of a jump that would be for you?
Yeah. I mean, I think any opponent in front of me, it's going to be a great fight no matter what. I wanted Rob Font. We'll see if that happens. If Cody Garbrandt can't make that fight against Figgy, because he likes to pull out of fights quite a bit, I could jump in there, taking those fights and trying to, I guess 3 rounds is cool if you beat someone like how I did against Ricky. But if you can get some finishes, that definitely takes you up there. And then also, promoting yourself a little bit better, which I think I need to do a better job about. But definitely winning those big fights in good fashion.
So you'd be open to a shorter notice fight if it were to pop up for you?
Yeah, if it was UFC 300, like that's a big card, and there's going to be lots of eyes on that card, and it's a great opponent. And I think that's still like 12, 13 weeks away. And so I would only need 6 weeks to get ready.
George mentioned it earlier in the interview, just how crazy your division is, right? From top to bottom. When you look at the top there, are you happy that there's been like a little bit of a changing of the guard? Do you like it better when there's one guy that's ruled for a long time? Do you have any preference of when you get to that position, who you would want to be champ at that time?
No, I really don't think too far ahead. You think too far ahead, then, whoever is champion, like it doesn't matter. So it's just the pathway to get there. For me, I would like a top 10, a top 5, and then get into the top right there.
Cody Garbrandt is an excellent name in terms of he's got star value. He's a former champion. I get that. Rob Font is a guy that has had, great runs. He's had great KOs and everything. However, he has lost 4 of his last 5, and Garbrandt is probably on the downside of his career. In no way does that make them not dangerous or fights I wouldn't want to tune into. Is there a reason why you've chosen them and perhaps maybe not someone that's streaking upward like you?
Yeah, I think Font was like the only one that really didn't have anything booked ahead of me in the top 10. That's why I like that fight. And I also wanted to fight a striker. I just had a camp against a wrestler, so I would like to see how I would do against a striker and what kind of game plan we can come up with and continue to grow. I just have a little bit of a different camp, see what kind of style I can bring, and then how I can adjust to a striker. But yeah, if he's lost 4 out of 5 fights, I mean, then why is he still in front of me? Why is he still in the top 10? So it's not necessarily I'm picking on him because he's losing. It's just the fact that he's in front of me and has no fight.
Well, the mistake here, Mario, is you're looking at the wrong rankings. The USA Today Sports and MMA Junkie rankings have you ahead of Font. Them UFC rankings, they be tripping. I don't like them either. But yeah, no, like I mean, look, maybe the winner of Cejudo and Dvalishvili or Song and Pewter Yan, I thought maybe that would be more down your alley. Because like Go said, he made an excellent point. You don't want to get Tony Ferguson. You don't want to get Bilal Muhammad. I'll go old school too if you want. You don't want to get Rafael Assunção. These are guys that had 8, 9, 10, 12 fight win streaks. And well, Tony did, to his credit, get the interim lightweight title. But I'm talking about the undisputed. You don't want to get, cast aside, I guess. So it's great that you recognize as well that, hey, maybe you need to do a little bit more on your part. You're doing media with us here. That's great. But yeah, exactly. I think what he said, especially in this division, it may apply. So is that kind of like how you're thinking too? You don't want to get cast aside like them other guys?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to get cast aside for sure. But I mean, the reason I would fight Henry or Merab if they offered it to me right now. It's just a stretch for me to ask. I kind of feel like I have to keep working my way to them, because if I had it my way, I would fight either one of them. I definitely want to fight Cory Sandhagen before I fight for the title. That's another one I want to get back for sure. But like I said, I have to work my way up, and I would have to feel right about asking for that.
Now, is this brutal honesty on your part in terms of maybe you feel like you're not at their level competition wise, or you're saying like they're just bigger stars right now, and so that's why they're fighting each other? I don't want anyone to misinterpret what you're saying.
No, I think it's just that they're bigger stars. I think it'd be hard just for promotion wise. I think it'd be hard to sell those fights. Fight wise, if all the fighters would think those are awesome fights and would watch it no matter what. I think a great story would be against Sandhagen. I lost my debut against him, and so for me to work all that way straight back to him at the top, I think that'd be a great selling point. So it's just a matter of finding those.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I say, I think a lot of doors opened after Saturday's performance. I don't know if you felt this, but I honestly felt like going into this weekend, if you were to stand 15 bantamweights, the top bantamweights in the world, right? 15, 20, pick whatever number you want. And Dana White says, anybody want to fight Mario Bautista? I think, their hands would go up like, okay, yeah. After this weekend, I guarantee you about 10 of those hands went down. And there might be 5 of the best in the world that obviously they don't turn down fights that would those would be the only hands standing. That really was something else, man, to beat that guy in the way you did. And hopefully you've gotten that feedback from your teammates and your fans.
Yeah, definitely from my teammates, fans. I really liked when I was walking back after the fight, getting, congratulated by the the commentators. Alan Joban came up and said that was a great fight. All those guys, like, just that I really respect. Those top fighters, veteran fighters. So yeah, it was pretty cool to see that from them.
Mm-hmm. Were you in any way, I guess, wondering about a bonus or anything like that? What have they, now that we're turning the page to 2024, has the promotion said anything? Is it still 4? I'm a big advocate for more bonuses, but what was this almost too one-sided to qualify for a fight of the night? I don't know. You tell me. What do you think?
I don't know. I thought it was a good fight. I thought it was more than bonus worthy. But yeah, I heard that there's too many finishes on the card, so they gave out bonuses to those guys.
Yeah.
I thought they just for sure did a fight of the night one. But yeah, I was a little bummed out, but at the same time, I got the win, and I'm not the type of guy to like to, beg for that. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if anything changes later on.
Mm-hmm. Well, I thought it could be 28. Sorry, 1-1. 19-19 going into round three. I think he got either all three 30-27s, or maybe one 29-28. So there was a round where I thought it could be close. So I thought it was starting to fill out like a possible fight of the night. And then they gave out the scores, and I was like, okay, well, I guess if they saw it that way, they saw it that way. But I always think, does that hurt the case of the fighters that go the distance, have a great fight, and then they miss out on that bonus?
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I know I got two 30-27s, but no, I don't know. Even though they gave me that decision the way they did, like if just looking at the fight itself, I'm with you. I thought it was bonus worthy, and I thought for sure we were going to get it.
Mm-hmm. What about Sean? He's a teammate of yours, a friend of yours. I think you guys said he started in the sport 10 years ago. What do you guys say to each other? I've asked you this last time, so we're not even going to get into would you fight each other. But I'm sure he's cheering for you to get there, to keep getting to the top. What did O'Malley, what kind of feedback did he give you? Did he give you any feedback? And has it, I wouldn't say reached the uncomfortable stage yet, but like imagine you guys are still homies and just cheering for each other in big fights?
Oh yeah, no, before the fight he just, sent me a message saying good luck, like thinking of you kind of deal. And then after the fight, he made a post like, talking about, or he did a podcast talking about how great I looked out there, and he's happy for me and everything. And I think no matter what, we're always going to be cool and not let all this on media and all these questions about whether we'd fight each other, this and that, kind of like mess with our friendship. We spar and fight each other. We've done that throughout the year, so it'd be nothing different.
Were you incentivized or motivated by the odds? They started off pretty even, and then they slid towards Simone. What that means is people are going, "Oh, give me Simone," and so I don't know. I don't know if you have. I know you can't make a bet, or at least you can't admit to doing it. That's something that they're pretty strict about now. But what about the homies, the families? Did you get any of them type of texts like, thank you, man, and I'm picking up a bag this weekend from my bookie?
Yeah, no, I never really get texts from my friends. If they win or if they bet, like I tell them not to really tell me, but I could tell you the fans that lost, they'll message me and they'll say some effed up stuff. You're just hurtful things or whatever, which I don't care. But I usually reply to some of them and saying, quit betting, you dummy, or whatever. And then you could tell like, oh, that they betted. And then at the flip side, they'll message me, oh, you won me lots of money, this and that. So yeah, it's whatever.
Well, you made me some money. I'm not a big bettor, but I love betting on underdogs to begin with. And like I said, I've been a fan since the first time we talked to you and we had that chat. So fist bump to you. And keep doing your thing, man. Seriously, this is a tough division to stand out in, and your performance on Saturday was awesome, all around. I think it was more than a 7. I think you're being a harsh critic, but like I said, sometimes you can be your own harsh critic.
Yeah, no, it was a great performance. It was like that standout fight that we were looking for, and it finally came. And you never realize it while you're fighting, but once you get out of it and you get the praise from your coaches and all these other guys, and a few days later you start to realize like, damn, I did it. Because sometimes you go through that camp, like you have your doubts, you have bad days, your game plan that you're working on is not working, and you're supposed to go fight this beast in this division, one of the toughest guys. It was not an easy matchup. So to come out on top, I'm just extremely grateful now, and it's just more confidence, get back to work and get back to training, and I know I'm doing the right things.
Yeah, and I will confess, on MMA Junkie staff picks, I went with Simone because I turned him in earlier in the week. I thought the wrestling might be a problem, but you proved me wrong on that front. But by fight day, I think I had a couple, and next thing you know, I was like, man, what am I doing? I got to take the underdog. But once he turned in the picks, it's too late. I'll give Goes a shout out because I always throw him under the bus when we're interviewing a fighter that he's gone against. But he did pick you. I took Simone, so I had to take my medicine.
It's all right, man. You won't mess up next time.
I won't. I ain't messing up from here on out, man. All the way to the top. Congratulations, Mario Bautista, and thanks for the time here on MMA Junkie Radio.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for having me.